Oh, but the Most High will be done. So the Kadab reading is coming from Psalms 81. Um, and this is one of our staples. Psalms 81 and 1. Psalms 81 and 1. In the native tongue, we would say Tahalim or praise. Tahalim or praise. So, Maria, do you have a open mic you can help read today? Because we got a few verses to go over. I know Nariah probably is at work. But this is Tahalim 81 and 1. To the chief musician upon Gittim, a song of Asaph or Asapah, sing aloud unto Yah, our Elohim, make a joyful noise unto the Elohim of Yaqub. Says, take a song and bring hither the timbrel, the pleasant harp with the psaltery. Psalms 81 and 3. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed, on our solemn feast day. For this was a statute for Yasher Allah and a Torah of Elohim of Yaqub. Psalms 81 and 5. This he ordained in Yahweh or Joseph for a testimony when he went out through the land of Egypt, where I heard a language that I understood not. All praise to the great I am. This is a solemn feast day. This is a feast unto the Most High. So I pray that he honors our efforts and partners where we fall short. So today, like I said, I just hear my wife in the background. I don't really have a lot. This class I started developing a few weeks ago, maybe a month or two ago. I was doing a word study and I came across the word debar. And I knew debar meaning to speak. That's what it's most popularly used for. But the verse I had pulled, it was being used for an oath or a promise. And I said, wow, I'm still excited about learning our language like it's my first day. And like I say all the time, our language has just different connotations. So most of my time in the covenant learning the language, I was using the bar just as to speak, to say a word. And then when I came across that verse that says what the bar also means an oath or a promise, I got so excited because it the first thing came to my mind, those who grew up in the 80s, we had a saying back then is my word is bond, meaning like I'm telling the truth. You can count on me. And when I came across that verse that said the bar means to promise, to make an oath, it's just only befitting because the word debar, like this current society, they have so many different ways to make you honor your word, your contract, sign your name, put your social security number down. Some cultures shake hands, spit on their hands. And it's like that's supposed to mean my word means something. But in our culture, we don't need none of that extra stuff. Once I debar, once I speak it, that's my word, that's my promise. So I got so excited when I came across that and I started building these notes, like I said, about a month or two ago. So this class is KARATAM wa DABARYAM. KARATAM wa DABARYAM. So KARATAM is the plural of covenants, and DABARYAM is the plural of promises or oaths. So today's class is KARATAM wa DABARYAM, and I believe it's going to be a few parts. Today I'm just going to intro it because there's so many nuggets inside the scriptures. And my goal, Makasha by Yah willing, as we go through the series, we're going to see just being objective, not trying to be mean, trying to be, braggadocious. If we read these verses objectively, that's talking about covenants and promises, you're going to see that it's only Yasharallah. Yasharallah is the only nation that has covenants and promises with the great I am. And then we always put the true Gentile in true perspective and where they fit in. But the actual explicit covenants and promises, according to the text, only belongs to Yashar Allah. So that's what we're going to do today. And as our tradition is, we will open up with a quick Sharash Ibar. It's not going to be too hard. We're going to go through it together. So let me get that up. And this is, that's not the one I want. Where's the... Here is it. So this is our Sharash Ibar. Those who are new, welcome. Please don't feel overwhelmed, like you can't understand. You're not going to get this. It takes time. It takes rehearsal, practice. I continually every day try to learn a new word. Now I'm trying to transition it into learning actual phrases and sentences. So if you're new to the covenant, you're new to this, please do not feel intimidated like you can't understand this. We read from right to left. The Greeks flipped everything, and now we read left to right. But the ancient people of our nation, we read right to left. And so that first word on top is Sharash. The character that looks like the E on his back, that is actually a picture of two front teeth. That give us the Shah sound. And then the head of a man is the Ra sound. And then you have the two front teeth again, which is the Shah sound. So it's just Sharash. Sharash. The word on the bottom, or the second word, is a picture of an eye. The second glyph is the picture of the house. That's the Ba sound. And then the head of a man again is the Ra sound. And it's just Ibar. Ibar. This is the first generation of the language of the ancient Hebrews that Adam used, Abraham used. And the next generation, they started changing the style of writing. And you see those letters are truly abstract. If you wasn't a native Hebrew or a Canaanite, you wouldn't understand what those glyphs mean. But they pretty much became, abstract characters, and you would have to know the first generation to understand what that's saying. That's all this picture means here, pointing out that Ibar is who we really are. The word Hebrew was invented by pagans who didn't know our language. So if you look at that box with those stick figures, again, start on the right side, and that first character that looks like an old-fashioned like hot comb, the girls straighten their hair, that's actually a H. That's a H. And that second glyph that looks like the English O, that is a I. That's a I. And then the next character is supposed to be the Ba, the B. And then you have the head of a man again. And then that last glyph stick figure that looks like a Z with a hash, that is a Y. So what happened is they couldn't understand ancient or Paleo Hebrew. This word is a compound word. The Ha is the. Then the three glyphs, Ibar. And then the Z looking glyph is just a suffix pointing to that it's a male noun. So that stick figure is supposed to be Hi Ibarya, and it's the Ibarya. The pagans didn't understand our culture. They invented a word called Hebrew. There's no such thing as a Hebrew. If you call Abraham a Hebrew, if you call Moses a Hebrew, they may put their hands on you because they don't understand what you're saying. If you're calling them Ibar, they understand that, yes, we're the descendants of Ibar. That's all we're pointing out here. This is our tribal declaration. These are Israelite scrolls written by Israelites. If you don't understand the Israelites, then you won't understand these scrolls. We're not saying that Gentiles can't live with us, can't come part of our covenant. That they were always included. What we're saying here, if you don't go back and learn the ancient culture of the Israelites, you're not going to understand what the Bible is saying fully. You're going to come close like horseshoes, but you're not going to have a ringer. And that's what these paleoglyphs, they get us to the actual root of what the Bible was supposed to say. And that's how we're able to point out all the errors, mistranslations, and just poor doctrine, because we're going back to the root of our language, which is our culture, So today's phrase is KARATAM wa DABARYAM. KARATAM wa DABARYAM. So again, those still learning, please don't feel intimidated. We've been practicing and rehearsing. We're still practicing. So trust me, if you put the time in, this is a simple language to understand. So starting with the word on top, that first glyph, that's the palm. That's the palm of a hand. That's the ka sound. Then we have the ra, the head of a man again. And then we have the ta, looks like a cross. That's a T or a ta sound. And that long extended looking M, that's a picture of a wave, and that's the ma sound. And we put the ma on words at the end to make it plural. So that's all that is. KARATAM is covenants, plural. The tent peg in the middle there that looks like a Y, that's our wa. That's a W. That's a Y for us. And that's equivalent to the English and. And that's all that is in the middle. Then the bottom word, that first glyph on the right, that's a tent door, the flap of the tent door. That's our da sound. Then we have the picture of the floor plan of a house or a tent. That's the ba sound. We have the head of a man again. That's the ra sound. And then we have the arm of a man. That's the ya sound. And then the picture of the wave again, that's the ma sound. So we put all these glyphs together, and it's the DABARYAM, and it's the plural of words or promises. Words or promises. So today's phrase is KARATAM and DABARYAM. KARATAM and DABARYAM. And you can find these in the Blue Letter Bible, Bible Hub, any of the Bible tools out there. Karat is H for Hebrew 3772. H 3772. And then the bar is H 1697 or 1696. Karat wa the bar. Any comments, questions, thoughts, insights about this phrase here from anyone? And I just want to point out that word karat is just another proof text. This world can't function without us Israelites, because that's where they get their word carat from. All of you bought jewelry, wear jewelry, you want to get 14 karat gold. Diamonds are valued at the carat. How many carat is it? So that word karat means to cut, to cut. So it's a proof text. You know, the world revolves around us. It's just the facts of the case. Any comments or questions about that?
Salakia, can you hear me?
Con,
Yeah, I was just gonna express the same sentiment. The Most High actually blessed me last minute. One of my coworkers actually switched shifts with me. He wanted some more hours. I said, "Brother, say less. I got vacation time, so I'm actually off today." But, I was gonna say the same thing regarding the word karat, because I don't know if anybody's ever heard the phrase "Let's cut a deal." Let me cut you a deal.
con,
It kind of reminds me of that phrase looking at these words. So I was just going to say the same thing. If it wasn't for the Most High and his language, no other nation would be able to speak.
con. It's just the facts of the case. As we continue to learn the ancient paths, it's just the writings on the wall, so to speak. It's like we're not being, braggadocious. It's just the facts of the case. Like our language is the oldest language, not the oldest, one of the oldest. I think Sanskrit may be a little older. That's the language of the Indians, and then there's one more. Um, the ancient Persians, was it, or Elamites? I think the Elamites, which are they are our cousins. I think their writing may be a little bit older than our language, but and I would say the actual glyphs that they made, because Adam was speaking this as the Most High created him. So this is the oldest language, but far as being like written down, I don't think our language was the first one written. But the other languages are Shemitic languages or closely related to it. So it's just the facts of the case. Our language, the Most High, is the master creator. So that's Sharash Ibar for today, and that's going to be the pretty much the foundation of this series. So I don't have too many slides, but there are some awesome verses to go over. So let's see what the Most High does. Is the screen still sharing? Okay. So this is the DABARYAM wa KARATAM, oaths and covenants. Oaths and covenants. And again, y'all willing, when I get back, I'll post this to the YouTube channel. But our goal here is to continue to strive to win the Most High's children back, and showing them the just the lies and the misinformation we've been given inside Christianity. You know, I'm back, caught my second win, and I'm not going to let up on Christianity. And the few people who do respond to my social media posts, I'm trying to let them know Christianity is not the belief system. It's not the covenant that the Most High gave to us. It's not the belief system that Messiah was teaching. So, Yah willing, Makashba Yah, this series is going to just prove that the covenants and oaths is not between the Most High and the world. It's not between the Most High and the church. The covenant and the oaths are between the Most High and the children of Israel. All praise to the great I am. Narai, if you're free, because I didn't see if Zamaria was open, you can help carry the load if you don't mind.
We can alternate. Zamaria commented that he said that he was free as well, so he could start it
Okay.
off.
Okay. I didn't see. I got so many things open. All right, Zamaria, can you take us to Barashat, Genesis 15, Barashat in the beginning? Barashat in the beginning, Genesis 15, and we're going to read 7 through 18.
God. Genesis 15, you said starting at verse 7.
Yes, sir.
God, I got you. Shemai, verse 7. All right. And he said unto them, I am Yahweh, or I am the Lord that brought thee out of Ur of the Chaldees to give thee this land to inherit it. And he said, Lord God, whereby shall I know that I shall inherit it? And he said unto him, take me an heifer of 3 years old, and a she goat of 3 years old, and a ram of 3 years old, and a turtle dove, and a young pigeon. And he took unto him all these, and divided them in the midst, and laid each piece one against another. But the birds divided not, but the birds he divided not. And when the fowls came down upon the carcasses, Abram drove them away. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram. And lo, an horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years.
So this is significant. This is very significant. Two things. Abram has fallen asleep. The Most High has put him in a sleep. So we're about to read a covenant that the Most High made by himself. Abram was not part of this covenant. The church wouldn't say Abraham covenant is passed on to believers. Abraham doesn't have a covenant. The Most High made a covenant between himself. He just had Abraham set the animals up, but Abraham is now asleep, and the Most High is speaking to his spirit. The Most High is speaking to, you know how we have dreams and we wake up? That's the Most High communicating. So the Most High is speaking to Abraham's spirit, telling him about his posterity. Read on, Op.
Verse 14. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And afterwards they shall come out with great substance. And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age. But in the fourth generation they shall come hither again, for the iniquity of the Amorites is not yet full. And it came to pass that when the sun went down and it was dark, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. Verse 18. In the same day, the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying unto thy seed, have I given this land from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates.
All praises. So if you have your hard copy, you can highlight verse 18 as a mistranslation, proving that the pagans don't know the culture, they don't know the language. Because for Abraham, for the Most High to make a covenant with Abraham, Abraham would have had to walk through those pieces of animals. That's how karatam, that's what karatam means. The oldest form of a covenant or a contract you're reading right here. As Abraham cut those animals, but he left the birds whole, he lined them up, side by side. He made a lane. And so two people who are entering a contract, they walk through those pieces in front of witnesses saying that I vow to keep my word. And if I don't, the other party can cut me in pieces like these animals. But what we see here in Genesis 15, Abraham just set it up. He didn't pass through. Who passed through? Verse 17. Behold, behold, a smoking furnace and a burning lamp that passed between those pieces. This is Hebraic language. A lamp passed between these pieces. No, it was Abba. And the witness, the proof text is DABARYAM 4 and 24. Let's get that up. Deuteronomy 4:24 to prove what we're saying. Abba passed through this sacrifice by himself. So he didn't make a covenant with Abraham. He gave Abraham an oath, a promise that I'm going to bring your seed back. I'm going to afflict their captors. And if I don't, I'll destroy myself. I'll destroy myself. So all this Christian dogma that we've heard over the years, the Abrahamic covenant is for anyone who accepts the Son of Christ. Abraham doesn't have a covenant. The Most High made him a guarantee. I'm going through these pieces by myself, Abraham. That if I don't complete my or perform my word for you and your sons, I destroy myself. No one in history ever had a contract or an oath by the Most High like Abraham's. Let's get the proof text that this is the great I am. Deuteronomy, DABARYAM 4:24.
Shema, verse 24. For the Lord thy God, or Yahweh thy Elohim, is a consuming fire, even a jealous Elohim.
So you can read this in the book of Hebrews. It's repeated. But we know two things. The book of Hebrews are for the Israelites. That's one. But then Paul or whoever finished that epistle, they're not making that up. They're not getting revelation. He just repeating Moses's revelation that the great I am is a consuming fire. So when the text say that a smoking furnace like a lamp passed through those pieces, it's just trying to describe the great I am, because no one has ever seen him and lived. So Abraham, or this Abrahamic covenant that the church sings about and think that it is passed on to believers, Abraham doesn't have a covenant. The Most High made him an oath that I will destroy myself if I don't bless your seed. Any questions or comments about that witness? All praises. Let's go to the second witness about KARATAM. It's Jeremiah 34, Jeremiah 34. And we're going to read verses 14 through 20. Jeremiah is the Most High has made room. The Most High has made room.
Yeah. Starting at verse 14. Shema. All right. At the end of 7 years, let ye go every man his brother, an Hebrew, which hath been sold unto thee, and we hath served thee 6 years, thou shalt let him go free from thee. But your fathers hearken not unto me, neither incline their ear. And ye were now turned and had done right in my sight, in proclaiming liberty every man to his neighbor. And ye had made a covenant before me in the house which is called by my name.
So the backstory here, where our ancestors was trying to obey the law of servants. The law of servants, who remember the law about servants? What's the difference between a Hebrew servant and a Gentile servant? It's right in the text.
They can only work for 7 years and have to be relieved.
Khan, the water. Zamaria read it. And the reason why I'm highlighting this, because it's a DCD moment, destroying Christian dogma. God loves everybody the same. Well, he doesn't have the same rules for everybody, because he told Moses and that generation that you guys can keep these Gentiles that you're coming out of Egypt with. You're going to keep them Gentiles as your servants, and you're going to pass on their children as servants to your children. But a Hebrew, a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, even Esau is a Hebrew. If you have one of the Edomites as your servants, you have to release him after 6 years. So This dogma that, oh, God loves everybody, he loves the whole world. Well, if you're a descendant of the Israelites, you could only serve for 6 years. But if you are of the other nations, you could be an indentured servant, indefinite. So these are just little nuggets that we never learned. And then Christian dogma want to polish and scream and shout and all this fanatical stuff. Nah, let's just calm down and read this text. So that's one thing I'm pointing out. What we're about to find out, the ancestors didn't keep this law. And now the Most High is upset. The Most High is upset because they didn't keep that law. Read on out.
Verse 16. But ye turned and polluted my name, and caused every man his servant, and every man his handmaid, whom he had set at liberty at their pleasure to return, and brought them into subjection, to be unto you for servants and for handmaids. Therefore, thus said the Lord, ye have not hearkened unto me in proclaiming liberty, every one to his brother, and every man to his neighbor. Behold, I proclaim a liberty for you,
Hold
saith the Lord.
on.
Yes, sir.
The Most High is sarcastic. So, two things. He says, you haven't proclaimed liberty to your brothers and to your neighbors. So, keeping it in context, let's just kick it. When the Bible talks about my neighbor, what's another name for neighbor? Or who is it referring to as neighbor? Our brothers.
Yeah, I was
Our
about to say,
brothers.
yeah.
That Christian thing is just, that Christian dogma is just fried our brains. The text is telling you, like we say it all the time, the text will define the terms for you. He says, where's that verse out just read? 17. In proclaiming liberty, everyone to his brother and every man to his neighbor. That's synonymous, neighbor and brother. So when the Bible talks about your neighbor, it's not talking about a Gentile. It's talking about an Israelite. That's one. And then two, how we always say the Most High, well, Messiah was sarcastic when he was dealing with those Pharisees. Well, Messiah is sarcastic because the Father's sarcastic. So, right, he says, verse 17, he says, behold, I proclaim a liberty for you. So, since you didn't let my seed go, like I told you, after 6 years, I got a liberty for you. Now, Zamaria, read what the liberty is.
I proclaim a liberty for you, saith the Lord, to the sword, to the pestilence, and to the famine, and I will make you to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth.
How sarcastic is that? We're made in the image of Yah. So when we get smart with people, we just acting like our daddy. The Most High says, okay, you didn't want to let my holy seed go free in 6 years. I got a liberty for you. To the sword, to the pestilence. I'm going to remove you into all the kingdoms in the earth. This is sarcasm at its finest. All praises. I'll read on.
Verse 18. And I will give the men that transgress my covenant, which have not performed the words of the covenant, which they had made before me, when they cut that calf in twain and passed between the parts thereof.
That's all we needed. So I wanted to get here to show again, here's another example of the ancient way of to make a karatam, a oath, cutting the animals up and passing between them. So the Abba is saying, y'all made an oath that y'all was going to keep the commandments, and now I'm going to pretty much destroy y'all like y'all did those pieces, because now you're profaning my name. You're calling yourself Yasha Allah. You're calling yourself the seed of Yaqub, but you're not keeping the commandments. You made the holy seed of Jacob come back and serve you. And I told y'all not to do that. So this is just another example of the old-fashioned way of pretty much making an ironclad covenant, KARATAM, cutting pieces up and passing between them. Any comments or questions, insights on this? I wanted to highlight verse 1. I go back, if you don't mind, and read Jeremiah 34 and 1. I want to see if anyone notices what I notice.
God. Shemai. The word which came unto Jeremiah from the Lord, when Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and all his army, and all the kingdoms of the earth, of his dominion, and all the people fought against Jerusalem, and against all the chiefs thereof, saying, Thus saith the
So
Lord.
that's all we need. Family, Mashapot, take a few seconds and read verse 1 to yourself and see what you notice. See what you notice. And just go ahead and unmute. I can't see the Zoom screen right now, so go ahead and unmute when you want to offer your insight. Anybody?
Is it that everybody was coming against him?
The whole world. Did you read that? You caught that
Yeah,
too?
sure.
The whole world coming against Jerusalem. Let's read it again. It says, when Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and all his army, and all the kingdoms of the earth of his dominion. What is Nebuchadnezzar's dominion? Anybody? What is Nebuchadnezzar's dominion?
The whole earth.
Babylon.
The whole earth. Right now, to this day, the Most High gave Nebuchadnezzar and his sons dominion of the whole earth. Rome is just a placeholder. So the whole earth is coming against the Israelites. And it's happening now. It's happening now. Yes, we got some brothers with some distasteful methods, but we have some brothers with some very civil and classy methods too. It doesn't matter your mode or your method of sharing this light. Whether you whisper, we're the Israelites, we're the chosen, or whether you scream, we're the Israelites, we're the chosen, the world is coming against us. Even your own family who shared a womb with you, that's of Satan, that's of the devil. That all you got to do is believe in this Jesus, and the whole world is against the Israelites. Did anybody see that? This is why it's important for us to stick together, build nationhood, put pride back in being Israel, Yashar Allah. Because the world, we say it all the time, you try to tell them, swine is against the Bible. Well, I'll just pray over it. It's like, I'm trying to help you. I love you. I'm trying to really show you with text that this is going to get you destroyed. They don't want to hear it. So those of us inside this covenant, we all we got. We all we got. And we have to know that come hell or high water, we're going to be here for each other. Any comments or questions about verse 30 of verse 1 here?
Can I be heard?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I was going to say too. So I had just seen a video not too long ago where some foreigners were antagonizing this, African American brother or, Hebrew that was walking in his community, and they end up calling him like boy and you come here, boy, and all these different things. And a lot of people was just commenting in the comments saying, go ahead and call ISIS. But this just feeds back to this scripture that you're saying, like everybody is against us. And it's just so crazy because I really just seen that video not too long ago. And these foreigners were literally treating this man as if he was just, it was crazy. But like I said, this speaks to that. Everybody is against us.
Yeah, a lot of people want to isolate racism to here, United States. Yes, it was the worst. These people were straight evil. What they did, raping our mothers and um, cutting pregnant women open, putting cats, sewing a cat back up in there with her fetus. So these people were wicked. I mean, diabolical here. But around the world, there's stories not as bad, I would say, but it's stories of us being redlined, higher interest rates, ghettos. It's not just limited to the states. And everyone's with us. I mean, I ain't gonna say this because this may be public. Everyone's okay with us as long as we're smiling, dancing, and happy. But when we start telling what y'all did to us, then it's like, oh, let's not talk about that. Let's rewrite history. Like no one wants to hear our atrocities. You want to remember the Holocaust, but our Holocaust is still going to this day. To this day. So all praise the Lord for that, sis. Any other comments or questions before we move on? So those are just the two examples I could find in text about the KARATAM, how we made, concrete contracts. The second part is about oaths and promises, DABARYAM. And we're going to DABARYAM 31 through 2. And this is our last slide, right? Yep, this is our last slide. So these are our last verses here. I told you we're going to be that long. Can't lie on the Sabbath. So we're going to read Deuteronomy 30, verses 1 through 12.
God. Shema. Verse 1. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whether the Lord thy God hath driven thee, and shalt return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy God hath scattered thee. If any of thine be driven out unto the outmost parts of heaven, from thence will the Lord thy God gather thee, and from thence will he fetch thee. And the Lord thy
So let me jump in real quick. Just want to
yes, sir.
highlight because there's a lot of meat in these 12 verses. The Most High here is making a promise, a DABARYAM. He's making a promise that once we return, then I'm going to fetch all of your children to the uttermost parts of heaven. Now, heaven doesn't mean where he's at. This heaven is referring to the earth because the earth is Shemayim as well as the blue sky. Shemayim just means separated from water. So he's saying, I'm going to fetch your children to the four corners. And reason why I want to park here for a second, the book of Revelation is what they call the end of the canon, according to the Christians. And at the end of Revelation, the children of Israel hadn't been fetched yet. So we know the Most High is not man that he should lie. So what's going on? This is yet to come. So when they put these labels, oh, that's the Old Testament, how can it be old if it hasn't been completed? So this is the future we're waiting on. The children of Israel, the 12 tribes, have not been fetched. That's what I want to highlight here. Read on out, if you don't mind.
Yes, sir. Verse 5. And the Lord thy God will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed, and thou shalt possess it. And he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers. And the Lord thy God will circumcise thine heart and the heart of thy seed to the Lord thy God with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. And the Lord thy God will make thee plenteous in every work of thine hand, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy land, for good. For the Lord will again rejoice over thee for good, and he rejoiced over thy as he rejoiced over thy fathers. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God to keep his commandments and his statutes which are written in this book of the law, and if thou turn unto the Lord thy God with all thine heart and with all thy soul, for this commandment which I command thee this day, it is not hidden from thee, neither is it afar off.
It is not what?
It is not hidden from thee,
It's
neither
not
is it
what?
it is not hidden from thee.
So if the word of the Most High is not hidden, is not far off, why they going falling in trances and speaking in this gibberish trying to reach heaven?
God,
Hello, is anybody here?
God.
It said that the word of Yah is not far off. So you don't need nobody laying hands, pushing your head back. Go ahead and let it go, let it go, let it go. The word of Yah is right here in this book that I had Moses record for you. Keep the commandments and live. This thing is cultural. All that fanaticism, mysticism, that's of Satan. The Most High is, but how the Most High gonna make this thing so complicated? You gotta have a minister who is ordained in the fivefold ministry, lay hands on you to receive his spirit. That don't make any sense. Your father is not going to create something so hard you got to sit there and tarry at a wall, rocking back and forth. What are you doing? Keep the commandments and live. This thing is a simple life. Simple life. Go ahead. I'm gonna let y'all go. Get out y'all way. Go ahead.
You good. Verse 12. It is not in heaven that thou shouldest say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it.
That's
Neither
all
it,
we need. That's all we need. This right here is loaded. These 12 verses is loaded with so much prophecy, promise. He's saying that I'm going to fetch your children no matter how far they've been scattered. That has not happened. He says, I'm going to multiply and bless you above your fathers. That includes Solomon. Solomon was the wealthiest man. He says, I'm going to multiply you above Solomon's age or era. That hasn't happened yet. And then he keeps saying, just return back to the commandments that you're recording today. So all this Christian dogma, the commandments was a schoolmaster. The law was a schoolmaster. Now we have Christ. We don't need the law. The Most High is calling us back to the law here in a future tense. So how are we living by a New Testament if he's pointing us back to the First Testament? I'm gonna get out y'all way. The water for that out. So that is the first example of DABARYAM, the words of the Most High. And like I opened up in the intro, we don't need no handshake, no prick my. When I speak, that's my oath. That's my word. My word is bond. So the Most High is not man that he should lie. He's speaking this to us, and it's going to come to pass. Any comments or insight about this passage?
I was gonna say too, even what we was reading, I think 13 and 14 is so imperative as well, because a lot of people do go to the pastor and ask the pastor to speak, on their behalf or pray on their behalf or whatever, but it's saying, neither is it beyond the sea that thou shouldest stay, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it unto us that we may hear it and do it. But the word is very nigh unto thee, in thy mouth, in your mouth and in your heart, that you may do it. And so it's almost like or I ain't even gonna say almost, but he's pretty much saying like nobody has to go over the sea, nobody has to go unto heaven, nobody has to go, in their prayer closet and do the hikamahanda and all the extra stuff on your behalf. It's in you, it's near to you. He can speak to you yourself for you to do his law, statutes, and commandments. So I just wanted to really bring that out. All praises.
Khan says all praises, and you jog my memory. We're gonna have a family meeting, get some time when we get back, and to discuss our family business, and also that's part of my mission here. Like I had this one brother. It's like, I just want you to shepherd me. I want to be under somebody. It's like, no, we just learned this thing together, and we all are brothers. Like, you don't need no. You have the same covenant, same rights I have. And when I'm going through, I ain't doing something special, saying some special prayer that the Most High. That's a Baja prayer. No, I'm Father. I'm speaking your word. I could do all things through Yahweh Shah, who strengthens me. So that's my mission. You don't have to call Yahweh Shah. You know just as much. You got much knowledge, much power as I have. Why you call another man who's in an earth suit? You calling Yahweh Shah. He paid the price for you. That's my goal here. I'm not trying to look like no Christian ministry and all that is garbage. It's time out. You say you believe in the Most High. You say the Son paid for your sins. Well, call on the Son. Speak and spit this word at your enemy, at your mountain. You don't need nobody laying hands on you. Let me get out y'all way. The water for that, sis. All praises. Anybody else? Anybody else?
I'm glad that Joyce spoke first, and I'm glad you just said what you said, because these witnesses, although they were few, they were very powerful when you keep everything in context. And you made the premise at the very beginning of the class saying that it's all about keeping the commandments. So a lot of times when I talk to people about this walk, and they may communicate over a period of time, asking questions and just being curious about how we live, they always get to the question of why is it always about keeping the commandments? And I get that a lot when it comes to people. It's almost as if they're looking for something else, something more super spiritual and religious, if you will. And I always respond, the Most High is simple. He just said to keep his commandments and live. So when you look meditating on these precepts that you gave, as far as Jeremiah chapter 34:1, as far as how all of the nations were fighting against Jerusalem, that's still happening today, like you said, but the warfare is just different. The warfare is just different. And the only way you'll be able to discern the good from the evil is by the commandments. Our enemies know who we are. They know who we are. So they make us do things in our ignorance, because what did it say in Hosea? My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. So with that being said, because we don't know good from evil, our enemies who know who we are and hate us will manipulate us into disobeying our power and being cursed. So they smile in your face, claim to be your friend, and have you eaten shrimp? Have you eaten pork? Have you celebrating Christmas? Have you gone against the very things that our power told us to do to live? So this was a very, very powerful part, and I'm glad Joyce said what she said, because verses 13 and 14, verse 14 is very powerful to me, because it says it's in your mouth and in your heart. It's already in you. That's why whenever I talk to anybody, especially our people, when it comes to this word, I don't care how intelligent or how decorated you are. I don't care how young and how quote unquote not educated you are. This word, the Most High doesn't lie. You can't finesse and trick the Most High. I know our people understand these words that are in this book. It's just your heart being against Yah because it's either been conditioned to think a certain way, and it's the cognitive dissonance automatically rejecting out of your subconscious, or our people just not desiring to walk with the Most High. But this was very powerful to me, and I just wanted to articulate that just to let people know the warfare is still here. It just isn't. It's not like it was in ancient times where they were straight up bringing swords and spears and going up and attacking. They're attacking your mind and they're attacking your morals because of your ignorance. They're taking advantage of these things, knowing who you are and knowing, okay, if we can get these people to disobey their own God willingly, we don't even have to physically fight them. They will destroy themselves. But I'll yield with that.
Just to add on what you said, a perfect example of what you're talking about, how they trick us into pretty much accepting wickedness. A high school friend of mine shared a post a couple of days ago, and I had to respond. He was mad because one of the branches of the military refused pensions to those people, those people, and he says these politicians don't have no Christian compassion. And I'm like, Christian compassion for people who live in outside of the book? So I said, well, bro, if Christ was here, would he have, like, dude, like you're talking about Christian compassion? They're refusing payment to people who, in that way, and you talking about where's the Christian compassion? That's what the riot is saying. This society has warped our mind. Now, I'm not saying we should kill everyone. No, because we all have failed some kind of way to this evil spirits, whether it be drug addiction, porn addiction, lying. We all been touched by the darts of Satan. So I'm not saying let's not pretend that it's not wrong. Like we can't say it's wrong in public. That's what Nariah is talking about. They have tricked us and forced us to accept this unrighteousness. It's just I'm ready to leave here. I just want to be around Israelites. The why for that. Anybody else has something to share? Any insight? Anybody else? All right, the next witness for oaths or DABARYAM is over in Isaiah 60. Yashayah 60. Yah is salvation. That's what Isaiah name means. Yashayah is Yah saves, or Yah is salvation. We're going to read 60 and the whole chapter is one of those staples, but for the sake of time, let's just the first 14 verses.
Starting at verse 1. Yes, sir. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of Yahweh is risen upon thee. For behold, the darkness shall cover the whole earth, or the earth, and gross darkness the people. But Yahweh shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. And
so again, sorry, Salakia, this is just another proof text. I didn't add nothing. He's reading it as it's written. But you can see there's a separation. Darkness is going to be upon the earth and the people, but on these other people, the glory of Yah is going to shine upon them. So this is a separation. This is a proof text that Abba don't love the world. He doesn't love everybody. These people are going to be in darkness, but this set of people is going to have my glory upon them. Let's read who these people are.
And his glory shall be set upon thee, and the Gentiles shall come to thy light, and kings to the brightness of thy rising. Lift up thine eyes round about and see, all they gather themselves together. They come to thee, thy son shall come from far, and thy daughters shall be nursed at thy side. Then thou shalt see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. Mm. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee.
So we
The
ain't worried about no ballot. Get out here and vote. We got to get the right senator in here. We got to get the right governor in here. Well, your government is about to collapse, and all that y'all done hoarded. Did you got some cryptocoin, man? All that's mine. That's why I told you when I go to the gas pump now and it's 350, man, I'm paying it to my piggy bank. It's coming back to me. The oil you charging me for came from my father's earth. It's mine. The gold you charging me for came from my father's earth. It's already mine. The diamond you're charging me for came from my father's earth. It's mine. It's mine. All praises. Where we at?
verse 6. The multitude of the camels shall cover thee, the dromedaries of Midian and Ephah. All they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense, and they shall show forth the praises of Yahweh. All the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered together unto thee. The rams of Neboath, whatever, shall minister unto thee. They
That's
shall
that good meat. That's that good. That ain't that fake. Y'all see my post I put on Facebook the other day? They show farm beef versus the grocery store beef. It is crazy. It's like, what are you doing? Like, we don't know what we buying from the stores. But this right here, it says the rams of Nabaya, whatever, that's good meat. That's that good fresh meat. No parasites, no worms, no pus. The Most High he gonna give us a spread. You know, you seen the Raya plates? That's gonna be nothing. It's gonna be. We all gonna have the Raya plates. We don't.
Yes, sir. They shall come up with acceptance on mine altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory. Who are these that fly as a cloud and as the doves to their windows?
So who are these
Surely,
people who has this glory? Who are these people? Read on.
surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of Yahweh thy Elohim, and to the Holy One of Yasharallah or Israel, because
So
he.
before they leave the land of their captivity, they're bringing silver and gold with them. What that mean? Run that.
Mm,
As we're leaving, I need that. We're bringing silver and gold back to our Father to give him honor and glory. All praises.
mm. Yes, sir. Verse 10. And the sons of the strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee.
What
For
does that
in
sound like, Zamar? Y'all, sons of the strangers are doing the work.
hmm hmm
Read on.
yes, sir. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee.
Who is the only group of people the Most High smote?
Israelites.
Everybody went into slavery. Where your pictures at?
Mm,
Everybody went on slave ships. Where your cargo manifest at? If it happened to everybody, then why did these people think to take pictures of burning flesh? Because if it's an everyday occurrence and it happens to everybody, it's no big deal. It's like going to an all-star game and getting excited because you see somebody dunk. These are all-stars. Everybody dunk here. So if this great tragedy happened to everybody, all have sinned and fell short of the glory. Well, why wasn't everybody in chains? Why wasn't everybody's mothers raped and backs ripped up? No, the Most High was angry with us because we said we was his people. What they told Moses? All that the Most High say we will do. And we lied again and again. So we're the only people of the earth that bear records of the Most High's anger. And now he's saying, yes, I was mad. I smote you. I used the nations as rods to beat you. But now I'm going to have mercy on you. Now I'm going to put the glory back on you. All praises. I'll read on.
Verse 11. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles, and that their kings may be brought. For the nation and the kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall utterly be wasted. The glory of Lebanon, or of Laban, Lebanon, shall come unto thee. Their fir tree, their fir tree, the pine tree, and the box together, to beautify the place of my sanctuary. And I will make thee, and I will make the place of thy feet glorious. The sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, and all that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet, and they shall call thee, and they shall call thee the city of Yahweh, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel.
All praises. This is just give me book at its finest. We're not spinning these verses. We're not adding on. We're showing the Barium, the promises of Yah. And all he requires is us to return to the covenant. Not no new covenant, not no grace. Return to the covenant that Moses recorded, and I'm going to return my glory to you. So when it says in Romans, I think it's 2:17 or 3:17, somebody double check me, that all have sinned and fell short of the glory. Well, the glory of Yah was only in Zion. So this is how you have to know your history and know prophecy to make sense of those epistles. All have sinned and come short is referring to us Israelites. Two more proof texts. Sin is transgression of the law. So only Israel was concerned about the Most High law and then fell short of glory. The glory of Yah was only in Zion. This is how we destroy Christian dogma. This is the Barium promises that the Most High is given to Israel, not the church, not the Lutherans, not the Presbyterians, not these Chrislam people. Now we got Christian Hebrews. None of these people are going to inherit this glory. Only the ones who are standing up for the commandments, rejecting idol worship and synchronism. No, we're not mixing and matching. This ain't no tic-tac-toe. No. The Most High said this is the way. Broad is the way to destruction. Let me get out, y'all. By all praise the water for that. Any comments, insights about that passage?
Khan, I wanted to bring out something that just stood out to me. Obviously, I done read this multiple times, but I see a lot of videos where, the brothers are speaking to these Gentiles and they're telling them about the Bible and the Most High's ways. And a lot of the Gentiles would say, well, hey, that was my ancestors. That ain't me. They ain't got nothing to do with me. And then you'll see people in the comments saying, we're not like them or we're different and all of that. But verse 14, when it says the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee, it's like, no, y'all still have a duty. Like, this is prophecy that this either, regardless of whether y'all quotations are saying that y'all didn't do it, you're still going to reap the the rewards of what your people did to us. And so I just wanted to point that out because that kind of stood out to me, because a lot of people will just say, that was back in the day or that was our ancestors and we're not doing that unto y'all. But no.
That's just what the text say. Like, listen, I understand. I'm glad you have a compassionate heart, and now you're not calling me the N word, and you're not scared to drink a water fountain. I appreciate that, but my father says you are the sons of them that afflicted my people. So it is what it is. I can't change the Most High's mind. Now I tell you all the time, me and my wife, we're empty nesters. I don't really need servants. Like it's just me and her. So I bring her a drink, she bring me a drink. But if Most High want me to have servants, like hey Jeffrey, come on, like it is what it is. It is what it is. All praise for that insight. We got a few more. We out of here. Let's go over to Yakanan 14 because our counterpart says, well, y'all stay in that Old Testament too much, and now the New Testament we don't need all that. Well, this is not a New Testament; it's just epistles, letters. But these letters that our elders wrote, they bear the same language. They're saying the same thing. John 14 and the water. If Navarre, you want to come on and get a break, or how y'all feeling?
I'm ready whenever.
Oh, okay. Yeah, go ahead, do your thing.
We all about out of here. Just a few more. John 14, and this is red letter. John 14, starting at 1. We're gonna read 1 through 12. All red letter.
This is the book of John, or Yakanan, chapter 14, verse 1. Let not your heart be troubled. You believed in God, believe also in me. In my
Oh,
Father's
something
house.
wrong. Something wrong to ride. You believe in God. I am Him.
You believe in God, believe also in me.
Okay, so that's two different people. Okay, read on.
In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also.
Mm-hmm.
And whither I go, you know, and the way you know. Thomas saith unto him, Master, or Lord, we know not whither you go, and how can we know the way? Yahushua saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes unto the Father but by me.
So, man, this is a lot of meat right here. It started at verse 2. Yahushua is setting this up beautifully. Even with this translation, it's still worked out. In my father's house are many rooms. They said mansions, but the translation, in my father's house, there's a limitless space. So in my father's house, there's many spaces, right? And now Thomas said what he said. We don't know the way. Yahushua says, I am the way and the truth. So I am the way. What is the way, or where's the way Yahushua is trying to get us to?
The commandments,
Your
back to
father's
Yah.
commandments.
Back to the Father's house. Come on, y'all all on it. He's saying, I'm the way, I am the truth. And the truth is another Hebrewism for what?
The law,
The
the
law.
The
commandments.
law. So he says in my father's house. So he's trying to paint a picture. In my father's house, there's many beautiful places. And then he's saying, I'm the way. I'm the way back to the Father's house. I'm not the Father, but I'm the way to the Father. Oh man, this is beautiful. Read on out. Go ahead.
Shalakia.
Somebody has something?
I just had a quick question. Um, just all praises, man, for this for the Most High using you, and even to this day, man, just understanding the plumb line and the little bit of Hebrew that I am learning. You just know how to search out the scriptures, and you have brought up. This is kind of just to circle back to what you said earlier. when you had, but you had said, I think you had mentioned and you had quoted about the schoolmaster. I believe that's in Galatians with and what Paul was talking about we no longer need the schoolmaster, and people think that that's saying we don't need the law because we have Christ now. But I think, like I said, number one, because we understand that there are multiple scriptures where Paul was keeping the law. Like that's in the New Testament. There are like multiple scriptures that we can search out. So him saying we don't need the law anymore would be a contradiction of itself because he was keeping it. But I think what he was saying, like when you said that, what you just said, it reminded me, it brought more light to what he was kind of saying in Galatians. You know what I'm saying? Saying that you can't keep this law without Yahweh Shai. You know what I'm saying? So we just now if I now get me right if I'm wrong, you know what I'm saying? But just to make light of what Paul was saying in that verse, although we know we have, we can go into to the particulars about who wrote Galatians and all that stuff. But as you were saying that, I was just thinking about that verse, and it just brought light to what Paul was really saying. He wasn't saying that we don't necessarily need the law, but he was saying for us to look on Yahweh Shai, and because Yahweh Shai or Christ is pointing us back to, what I'm saying, like he said, the Father's house. So I don't know, like you saying it just shine light on that Galatians for me. Like I said, I could be reading into that wrong, but yeah.
No, I believe in the Hebrew context that you're right on that. If Paul wrote that, okay, let's just suspend our disbelief. Let's just say that's authentic. Paul wrote it and he wrote it like that. Your context is more in line with everything recorded. That those physical those physical tablets was just a schoolmaster to keep you guys in order. Now your Habashai's here, he's the blueprint. But guess what? He's still going to follow the same commandments that was given. Because even today, as best we understand, today is the actual Sabbath. Not every Saturday is, but far as our tracking the moon, today is the Sabbath. And the text tells us in Jubilees that the angels celebrate the Sabbath. So your context that you're bringing forth is in line with the culture. The physical tablets, the stone tablets, was just the schoolmaster, but now Yahweh Shai, he's the way, he's the truth, but he's not bringing anything different. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. All praise the Lord for that. Did anyone else, was confused or?
Con, I just wanted to see if this could be a huge stretch, but I'm just processing it in my mind as far as John 14:6, how Yahushua said unto him, I am the way, which we know that anybody that tries to go any other way is a thief and a robber. And then it says the truth, which we know that his law is truth. And then the life, which we know the law gives life. It's almost as if the Messiah is saying he is the law. And it's like when you get to the Christian saying we no longer need the law, it's almost like you're saying we don't need the Messiah either, because he is the thing that reconciles us back to the Father. He is that way. He is the thing that helps give us life. But I was like, maybe I'm stretching it, but to me it just fits.
No,
Salakia,
man,
can
y'all
I?
we're gonna
I
have
got
church in here. Somebody hit that A flat.
Salakia. Do you mind if I comment on what Joyce just said and asked? Because I got my hand up and I was
I can't
literally
see.
just about to talk. I
Yeah,
was literally
just
just
come
about
on
to talk
through.
about this.
Yeah,
Could
I can't
you?
see the Zoom, so just come on through.
Okay. Do you have the characters for Debar? Could you go back to
Yeah,
that?
I would. Let me stop this one. And where is it at?
Because I'm just over here laughing because it's just I believe Yah is with us. And these are the confirmations that I get know that he's getting us all on one accord. So I'm going to try to keep this as simple as possible for the babes who are in here and who may watch at a later time. So
1 second.
you can just zoom in on the bar. Okay, appreciate it, Doc. So H1697, the bar, that is the word for speak, oath, word. Literally, the word word is the bar as well. Now, John chapter 14, verse 6 said, Yahweh Shah saith unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes unto the Father but by me. Now, earlier in this chapter, he said, in my Father's house are many rooms. But if you can't get to the Father but by a certain way, how do you get into a house, y'all? What do you have to walk into?
The door.
The door.
Okay, go to John chapter 10. I'm gonna try to make it quick. I'm gonna try to make this as simple as possible. This is a witness to how concrete this language is.
Shema.
So don't let anybody like downplay what we're learning here. Abijah, could you read? Matter of fact, Joyce, could you read verse 7 through 9?
It says, Then said Yahushua unto them again, Verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep. All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture.
Appreciate it. So that word debar, what is the very first character? Look at how concrete this language is.
The door.
What is the door to what?
The
What is
house.
the
The house. Yep.
The house of who?
The Most High.
Most High. Oh, praise to the great I. Now, I was also
Go
just,
ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead, finish your thought.
Well, I was just going to simply say, like I mentioned, the word debar is also the word for word, oath, speak. The Yahweh Shai is the very first of all creation. The Most High spoke him into existence. He is the word made flesh. Abijah said earlier, we make covenants with our words as well as, the blood that binds it. But the power of the language and the culture brings these things to life to give you an understanding. What was the one thing that's been here since the very beginning that still stands today? The Most High's words. That's why Masha or Moses, that's why Yahushua or Christ, they both said the same thing. Man shall not live by bread only, but by every DABARYAM that comes out of the mouth of Yah shall man live. That is what's going to get us back to his house. Because if we want to live in our Father's house, we have to live by our Father's rules. And we can only do that by the blood of his son. But I'll yield with that.
All praises. Did he want to have something else? Oh, no, I messed up. Oh, she kept going. I just wanted to, because some Sister Joyce said, and she wasn't confident, but she was right. I'm doing this on the fly. Just bear with me 1 second. See how far back I can go. I'm doing all this for one character I need. Boom. So Sister Joyce said something, and If one person gets understanding, this is what we here for. Sister Joyce said a few minutes ago, reading that John 14, how the Christians say they don't need the law because they have Christ, but Christ is the law. And even though she wasn't confident, the glyphs proves that she is right when you understand our culture. This is the screen still sharing?
I already think I know where you're going. Me and Zamar was just talking about this a few days ago. Zamar, you remember?
Yes, sir.
This is how we spell Torah in our language. And it's the mark of the Most High Spirit. And the Son, Yahushai, he's the first thing the Most High created. When you read Proverbs, he tells you, before the foundations of the world was created, I was with the Father. So Yahushua is the mark, or he's the first spirit. Can you see that? He's the first mark of the Most High Spirit, or he's the first spirit. And then him being the eldest of the family, the eldest of the family sets the tone for the other children. You listen to what your brother said. So he is the Torah. And then when he came, like we're reading here, he didn't change the Most High's word. He gave them the same word that Abba gave to Masha. So that's why it's important to really learn these glyphs and to learn the culture. And when you hear Christians say like things like we don't need the law, you understand they don't even understand the culture. They don't understand what they're talking about. Because if you don't need the law, you don't need the Son. You don't need the Son. Any other comments or questions about that?
Lastly, if we didn't need the commandments, why would Yahweh Shai tell the young rich ruler, you know the commandments, when he asked for what would he need to do to inherit eternal life? Why would he say that? And why would he give the parable of Lazarus and the rich man when the rich man was in the place of torments? And he asked for Abraham to put a drop of water on his tongue to ease the pain. And he was like, man, nah. So he said, well, at least let me go back and warn my brothers that this place is real. He said, they got Moses and the prophets. If they didn't believe and hear them, they not going to believe you. Why would the Messiah use those references if they weren't necessary anymore?
Over and over, over and over, all the elders, including Hamashiach, is telling us to go back to the prophets. And all the prophets were saying, stop the idol worship, stop the whoremongering, stop the stealing, stop killing, stop robbing the poor and the widows. Pretty much keep the law. It's just, this life is simple. And y'all pray for me because I'm titter tattering, like I'm getting to where like I'm insensitive to who don't get it. Like I'm, I'm just worried about who's trying to seek righteousness. Like I'm praying the Most High will be done. But it's like it's the fourth quarter. If you don't see nothing wrong with Halloween and Easter and Christmas, maybe you're not the sheep. Because going back to John 14 and where is it at? No, I'm sorry. And sis read John 10. John 10, I said, wow, that's another proof text. Let me go to John 10.
We read 7 through 9 up.
Yeah, I'm trying not to rip this Bible. I've got my mom's Bible. John 10 and
Was it 7? Where he was talking about I am the door of the sheep.
No, when he says, I thought it was in 10. When he says the sheep hear my voice and know my voice, or was that in 14? Am I mixing them up?
Verse 3. Uh, uh,
Right, 4. I must have jumped up to 4. And when he put forth his own sheep, he goeth before them, and the sheep follow him, for they know his voice. And a stranger they will not follow. So if you haven't realized that Christianity and these pastors are hirelings, maybe you're not the sheep. Maybe you're not the sheep, and it's just the facts of the case. Mom, dad, brother, sister, uncle, auntie, if they just can't let go that Christian idol worship, they very well they're not the sheep. They're not the sheep, and it's one of those hard things to accept. Like I can't make the Father accept you. I mean, it is what it is. Any other comments or questions about that?
I did have a question regarding that because I'm a second witness to what you're saying in regards to just not necessarily being as compassionate in these times. And me and Joyce talk about it from time to time, but we recently spoke about something to this degree. And you know, I tell her it's more than enough information with righteous witnesses on the internet and these social media apps where people can seek and find the truth if they're genuinely looking for it. It's not something that's hidden and you know because I believe that these are the times that knowledge is being increased. um so with that being said, could you give some context on when Yahweh Shah said, "Because wickedness shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold"? Because on I look at it two ways I can look at it, but I just wanted to get other witnesses. On one way, it's because the sinful are becoming more and more sinful. They aren't showcasing the love of Yah that we're supposed to show on the earth. But on the other side of that, I can look at it as well because people are becoming more and more sinful. The righteous are looking at them and not showing compassion or love because they are continuing in their sin. So I just wanted to know, are there any witnesses that give more clarity on how we should be understanding that? I believe it's in Matthew 24, but I'm not 100%.
Um, I came across years ago. I think it's in either first or second Ezra, where he's saying, have compassion on the brothers that are lost, because again, this is not our fault. Everything goes back to the Levites. Well, if we go back further, Adam, but the Levites had the task to teach the nations. So fast forward to our time, it's like the fact that our family just can't let go that Christian bone it's totally not their fault. But then, like you said, there's so much knowledge being published, and your rebuttal is nonsense. Like, you actually really think you made sense when you said that? Like, you make like they have phrases I posted this morning, like some prophecies are fulfilled but not yet. Like, what does that mean? Like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. So I, I can't think of any verses offhand, but what you said is I sort of agree. Like, because it's so wicked out here, no one has compassion for the homeless. No one has compassion for the brother who is struggling with homosexuality, or the sister who is struggling with homosexuality. But then for us who are like people, it's like me and my wife always talking about people who don't want to work and don't want to do overtime. They want to, oh man, y'all always going somewhere. Oh man, y'all got a nice house. But don't come with that pity party. You don't see people getting up at 4 a.m. You don't see us dealing with wicked people at the job. So don't come with a pity party like you can't do it too. So people don't know how hard it is for us trying to live our best to be righteous, and then have to be around you talking about how you going to get this that, and it's like it's not easy for us to stay righteous. We're fighting tooth and nail too. So don't tell me you can't fight. So it's like at some point, like we just gotta wash our hands and make sure I keep it in a row. I used to have a saying, I can't hold your hand while you fall off a cliff. So I pray the Most High give us the strength, the wisdom to keep going and keep sharing the truth. I mean, we all of us post on facial media. I said facial media. We all post on Facebook, Instagram, all these social media avenues. We have the YouTube channel. We're trying to do the work the best we know how. I pray the Most High keeps giving us the strength, but I'm just to the point where like I just got to do the work. I just got to do the work. I'm saying as far as my own immediate family, I can't. It's burdensome trying to get y'all to see that y'all in error. So it's like Most High will be done. I'm just going to keep doing the work, and Abba does the rest. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
Uh,
All right, where was it at? John 14. Where we stopped at? I think it was
believe it was verse
7.
6 or 7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6 or 7.
I'll just start at 7. If you had known me, you should have known my father also. And from henceforth, you know him and have seen him. How far you want me to take it down? Up.
We're going down to 12. Have
Okay.
seen him. Uh-huh.
Okay. John 14, verse 8. Philip saith unto him, Master, show us the Father, and it sufficeth us. Awashai said unto him, Have I been so long time with you, and yet have you not known me, Philip? He that have seen me have seen the Father. And how say you, then show us the Father? Believe you not that I am in the Father, and the Father in me? The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwelleth in me, he doeth the works. Believe me that I am in the Father, and the Father in me, or else believe me for the very work's sake. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father.
Wow. So this whole chapter is pretty much red letter. The Most High is speaking through the Son, and the Son is giving us DABARYAM, promises of better places, promises of comfort, because he is in the Father and the Father is in him. This is DABARYAM, promises, and we're going to do greater works than him. That's a lot. That's a lot. To do greater works than Yahushua, that's huge. That's huge. Any comments or questions about this passage?
Really quick, I just wanted to reiterate John 14 and 10 for those who might have missed what Yahushua was saying. I'm gonna read it again. Believe you not that I am in the Father, and the Father in me? The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Father that dwell in me, he doeth the works. So for anybody that may have heard, you know, mostly people in the Christian uh, churches and who are affiliated with those religions, they believe in a lot of their organizations that Christ and the Most High God, they are the same, that the Son is also the Father. But in John verses chapter 14, verse 10, Yahweh Shai literally just essentially in a nutshell, he just said, I don't have any power. It's the Father that's doing these powerful works in me. I am just a vessel. It's just like if y'all have ever seen, y'all remember the Muppets where they had the hand, there's a or like I think they call them ventriloquist. You have
Mm-hmm.
the hand in the puppet and they make a move and speak and do all those things. That's essentially what we become to allow the Most High to do these works through us. And Yahweh Shai just confirmed that with his own words. I am a vessel. The Father is doing the works in me to show you who he is. But I'll yield with that.
That's why I put the asterisk Trinity. This whole chapter in verse 10 is the pretty much nail on the coffin that there's not a Trinity. There's no Trinity, at least not in Scripture. Maybe in your cemetery schools and your cemetery churches, y'all done invented a Trinity, but there's no text where we see three in one. It's always the Father, the Son, and the Son is working because the Father has given him power. All praises. Any other comments or questions before we move on? We got two more and we'll be out of here. And I'm doing this intentionally because Kazawan or Revelation is the so-called end of the canon. And let's see the language of the Barium, promises, oaths, and revelations. The first one is one of our staples, Revelations 3, 9 through 10, I believe. 3, 9 through 10 is a staple, and it was recorded, so we should read it.
All right.
Revelations 3 and 9 out.
This is the book of Kazawan or Revelation, chapter 3, verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before your feet and to know that I have loved you because you have kept the word of my patience. I also will keep you from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth.
So these two verses are so packed full of meat. We could have a whole class on these two verses, but for the sake of time, verse 9 says, those who say they are Jews but are not, they do lie. First point is, seems like Yahweh Shai is concerned with Israelites, Hebrews, because he said those who saying they are Jews, they're Israelites, but they're lying. Now this could be a 2-for-1, we're not sure. But my point is, why is he not saying those who say they are Christians, those who say they are born again? He's saying those who say they are of Jacob, but they lie, I'm going to make them come bow and worship at your feet. And not because you're special, because you have kept the word of my patience. Now, this is a translation, but keeping everything in context, what is the word of his patience?
The commandments.
The commandments. And we have explicit verses too, but this one is kind of abstract. But the word of my patience, if we keep this whole text in context, the word of his patience is we kept the commandments. And since we kept the commandments, he's going to protect us when the earth is in darkness, when the earth is in trouble. We're going to be hidden in his secret pavilion. That's why we fight tooth and nail to keep sin out of our hearts, to keep that leaven out of our minds. All praises. Any comments or questions about that witness? The last one is again one of our favorites, explicit, Kazawan 21. Kazawan 21. And this is just the introduction. There's so much more with the text. Not no exegesis, not no hooping and hollering. Just reading the text. Kazawan 21, and we can start at 1 through 3 and then jump down to 9 through 10.
Am I?
Read.
Kazawan, or Revelation chapter 21, verse 1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth. The first heaven and the first earth were passed away. There was no more sea. And I, Yakanan, or John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from God out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband. And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle of Yah is with men, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people. And Elohim himself shall be with them and be their Elohim.
So this is the setting the stage up. The house, the dwelling of Yah is with men. Okay, with men, and Yah's going to be with him himself. That's a man perfect dichotomy. I sent my son to get y'all right the first time. Now I'm coming myself. But let's just suspend it. He says he's going to dwell with men. He's going to be their power. Now let's drop down to 9 and 10. Let's get the true context.
If I could just comment really
Yes, sir.
quick on that. If Christ is the Most High God, why is he only ruling for 1,000 years? And then the enemy has to be judged, and then God is coming down. Wouldn't he have already been here for 1,000 years if he is the Most High God?
Great point. Great point. And the text would say, "I'm coming down again." If it would say, "I'm coming down again," because you already been ruling 1,000 years, and now this is saying you're coming down. So it's like the text don't make sense with this Trinity. Like it just don't make sense. Great point, Op.
As the one of Revelation 21, verse 9. And there came unto me one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials full of the 7 last plagues, and talked with me, saying, Come hither, and I will show you the bride, the Lamb's wife. And
So the lamb has a wife, and the church been telling people that the church is the wife, but that's false doctrine. The text is about to define who's the wife of the lamb. Read on, Op.
Verse 10. And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me that great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from Yah.
So who's the lamb's wife?
The city, Jerusalem.
He inherits Jerusalem as his bride. And who's so if Jerusalem is the lamb's wife, metaphorically speaking, who are we the wife of?
Yah, the Almighty.
Yah, Almighty. That's how you just keep it in context. Read on. We almost out of here.
Verse 11. Having the glory of Elohim, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal, and had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
That's black and white, family. This is just the first installment of Makasha Baya of DABARYAM or KARATAM, Promises and Covenants. And this is just a mission to help try to open more people's eyes to understanding. But we're going to just keep digging into this text, showing that it's only Israel who has these promises. Only Israel has these promises. So that's all I had. Any comments or questions as we close out?
I just wanted to say that I truly enjoyed this class and just refreshing my mind back to obviously the Most High's word. But I really feel like, you know, when you ask for um, confirmation or just a new word, a fresh word, I really feel like He gives that to you. And so I'm just grateful that, you know, everything that we went over on today resonated with my spirit, and it feels good to know that. So all praises for that and your obedience. I appreciate it.
All praise to the great I am by Sham Yahweh Shai. Is, we see these social media posts, and we have these conversations with, some loved ones or friends, and just rehearsing this and getting them to read. That's all we can do. Most High be with us, though. Any others? Any others? All right, Mashapop, Naraya, Zamaria, the water Rabah for that work, helping doing the heavy lifting. I pray the Most High was magnified. I pray the Most High glory shine upon us by Sham Yahweh Shai. If you could continue to pray for us for traveling mercies. Pray the Most High keep us. Pray the Most High be with us another pagan work week. If all hearts and minds are clear, Naraya, can you go ahead and close us out?
Barakatah Yahweh by Sham Yahweh Shai.